make sure that we don't go away. We're going to be a pimple on their butt so that they're constantly reminded that we are here. The signs that you have are amazing. Arlen, you let us down. He sure as heck did. And we're not going to drink any of that Kool-Aid again, are we? We have some great speakers here today. Among them, one of our elected representatives who does get it, and we're going to hear from him in a little bit. First, it gives me great pleasure, and I'm going to come down here because he just had a knee operation, to introduce a cohort of mine who really goes on the air, tells like it is, has been doing it every day for years in central Pennsylvania, much respected, from WSBA 910 in York, Mr. Gary Sutton. You care. Holy cow, you care, huh? Put your hands together. I'm reminded, and forgive me today for not standing up here as high as RJ. He's lost a few more pounds than I've lost so far. Give him a nice round of applause, by the way, RJ Harris. I'm on the same track, but I'm not there yet. I'm 1 month into a knee operation, so forgive me for hobbling today, but I can't stand here with a cane in front of a group of people this far up in the air right now. I'm reminded of something when I stand in front of this Capitol, which looks an awful lot like another place down in Washington, D.C. We have a lot of buildings that look like this down in Washington, D.C. Sometimes, in fact, so many of them that you can walk by and kind of ignore them. They kind of all look the same. And one of those nondescript buildings down there has a peeper in there. They guard it, actually. It's pretty hard to get in. They check your wallet. They check your suitcase. They check your pocketbooks, ladies.
And they never read it.
But they never read this thing, yeah. We're talking about the National Archives building. There's a little document in there called the Declaration of Independence, along with another one called the Constitution. Thought that guy was getting pressed for a second. And you know, I was struck by something. My wife, Debbie, sitting over here today, wanted me to take her down and show it. She had never seen it before. She knew what it was all about. She's read it. How many of you read the Declaration before? How many of you know what it means? Obviously, you know what it means. You're here today. But one of the things that struck me about the Declaration of Independence, and I have seen it so many times, it's amazing, is how it's fading. Have any of you noticed that when you've gone down and seen it? It's fading away. And I worry right now that maybe in Washington it's fading away in the minds and the hearts of the people who say they represent us in this country today. And that's one of the biggest things we cannot allow to fade away. The document might do it. The document might do it. But our hearts must keep the Declaration of Independence alive, because that was the time that we said we stand for freedom of individuals, and that's what's most important in this country. In the Declaration of Independence, I was a history teacher for 25 years before I got into this crazy business. And in the Declaration of Independence, there are some really major concepts. And one of them that really stands out to me: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
We're guaranteed that. We're not guaranteed that by any president, any Congress. We're not guaranteed that by any other group of people. We are guaranteed that by nature, and nature's God. And all of us have the right to life, the freedom that comes with it, the choices that we've decided to be able to make in this country over the years with free capitalism, and also the pursuit of happiness. Now notice that our founding fathers were so smart, a little bit smarter than our fathers that are trying to govern us right now.
Yeah.
They looked into the future and they said, you have the right to pursue happiness, which means you also have the right to lose. You all also have the right to do well. You have the right to make a bundle. You have the right not to. And if you screw up, you have the right to come back and try again. Hasn't that been America the whole way along? And one of the things that bothers us, and one of the reasons I'm here today, one guy has decided they're the chattering class. Well, the chattering class is starting to chatter in this country, and they're starting to stand up, and they're starting to say, listen, we want those choices back. Government, you're taking it away. You are now becoming the Oz that we're supposed to run to every time there's a problem. We don't need you. Ladies and gentlemen, with the economic situation, what it is right now, we need the government to become more like us, not ask us to become more like them. Pat Toomey. Just want to let you know that right now. So, let's go. Listen, he's right. I do carry my Constitution with me everywhere. There it is. It's beat up, but this is why I do it. And I'm going to take it on a serious note here. You know, here we are in the greatest nation that was be able to be blessed on this planet. And the bottom line is this. Our founding fathers, I'm sorry, I have 2 broken ribs, so I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can, but here we go. Our founding fathers did not measure the political spectrum by the yardstick of left and right. They measured it by limiting the power of government. They gave us our Constitution to put chains around our government. Listen, a government that is big enough to give you everything is also big enough to take it all away. Do you agree? Do you want freedom? Do you want freedom? Will you fight for freedom? That's what we got to be doing right now. I know I'm called a lot of different names. The governor called me certifiable a couple of years ago on my first budget vote. But the bottom line is this. You know, I didn't run for Mike Folmer. I didn't run to get vindication in my life. I ran because I love this state. I love my community. I love this nation. We are supposed to be a constitutional representative republic where all voices are heard, all voices are meant to be heard and meant to be represented. And what's happening right now in D.C., folks, is your freedoms are being eradicated every day. And remember something, folks, and we have a short history, and not too long ago, in the 1930s, and it happened in Germany. In the 1920s, Germany had a constitution, and it was called the Weimar Republic. And I'm going to bring this up for a reason because I think it's a real history lesson. This is a real history lesson. The Weimar Republic had a constitution. That constitution was not overthrown by a revolution. That constitution was used against itself by inside political powers. They ended up with Adolf Hitler. We end up with some form of statism. See, this is the problem. If we do not follow the Constitution, if we just view the Constitution as words written on paper, we're going to be losing those freedoms. And we need to get to know what this is again. How many have read it? How many know what their constitutional rights are? If you don't, learn. Study who our founding fathers were. You will find out what was meant to be. This is about hope. Hope is about honor, opportunity, prosperity, and equality. And that's what our Constitution does. It wasn't about white or black, red or brown. It wasn't about male or female. But all those that adhere to the tenets of this Constitution, those are the true sons and daughters of liberty. So all I'm asking is this.
Obama doesn't care what the Constitution says.
Well, then we got to tell Obama he has to start caring. And it has to start on steps right here in Harrisburg, all across this nation. We cannot give up the hope, okay? We cannot give up the hope. That's right. And one other thing before I go, because I wasn't really prepared to talk, and talking loud is, well, I have no teleprompter. Here's my teleprompter, my heart. All right. One other thing, folks. There's a very, 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 very important vote that's going to be coming up before the 111th Congress. And I don't have a say in it. I'm only in the state legislature. I do have a resolution to counter. It's called the car check resolution. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you love free enterprise, if you love the right to be able to have an idea, the right to be able to buy, the right to be able to sell, and even the right to be able to fail.
No more all
right? We got to get to our legislators in D.C. and tell them to vote no on card check. This will kill small business. All right? This will kill small business. We need free choice. So, please, get behind Pat Toomey for the U.S. Senate. We have a great guy there. Vote, get out, email, write, talk, whatever. We got to tell them to vote no on card check. And God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Tony Gahuli. Tony ran for Congress. He should have won.